What's up, reefers? Happy Thursday. Today, once again, we got Sever here joining us, and
Hello.
we're gonna talk about something that has come up a little bit over past conversations, but more and more frequently as people around the world, and particularly here in the U.S., are getting access to more and more Aquaforest products. I've got messages, I'm sure Sever as well, about what products to use from Aquaforest to help it in whatever their goal is. So we wanted to put this tank talk really dedicated on looking at what is your goal, what are some of the products to help you achieve that goal, and a little guide that's available, and you can see it down in the link below to that if you want to look at later. So Sever, thanks for taking the time to join us this evening.
Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here again with you, Aaron, because that's a very important subject, and because we have a Facebook group, we have Instagram's accounts, and we have enormous numbers of questions. I have this tank. What I should use? First, we made a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, so I really encourage you to just look on these videos, because there is all products, how to set up a tank with Aquaforest products, and there's tons of materials, and we have also a guide where all products are, we have several kinds of tanks.
Yep.
We have fish only tank, we have soft corals and some LPS corals tank. And we have mixed formulas where you have a SPS tank and you have some LPS tank. So this is probably the most popular tanks, reef tanks that we will find in between us, the hobbyists. And the last one, it's a pure SPS low nutrient system, or not necessarily low nutrient system, but generally pure SPS tanks, because all these corals have totally different needs. And it's also very important to say, because chemicals on our side, it's one thing, but we also need before we will start the tank, we need to decide which way we would like to go. If it will be SPS tank, or it will be mixed reef tanks. It also depends how strong skimmer you'll need to buy. If you need to have a lower nutrients, or even if you want to have the fish only tank and you plan to have plenty of them, it's also very important to have oversized skimmers.
Exactly.
Most of the producer of skimmers give you a range of how many gallons you can use it, and usually, from my experience, I always take the lowest number. So, for example, if somebody say that it's from 100 to 300 gallons, okay, I will say, okay, 80.
Sure.
Because that's it could be maybe because that's but generally I prefer to have it stronger that's too weak.
And that's right. And many skimmers now actually will have the bio load, light, medium, or heavy, and so that helps as well. But what I hear you getting at is really just how complex the decision process is. Hey, nice cup, and how much when we're setting up a tank, particularly for people for the first time, it can be overwhelming. They don't know where to start. They don't know or have it in their mind yet what their goals are. And so I know that was the reason for putting that guide together, was to help particularly first-time reefers to think about, okay, is your goal growth? Is it coloration? What type of aquarium? And I would say that most people today around the world have a mixed reef. That seems to be the combination. People want the best of both worlds. And you and I have talked a few times that that's the hardest tank to maintain, both in terms of the nutrient levels, the lighting and flow. It's really difficult to find that balance. So, this is something I think a lot of folks strive for. And, I know, as you've talked about before, that the products that are being developed to really help each one of those types of systems to optimize at their best.
Yes. So you have skimmers, you have pumps, stronger pumps is also very important, stronger like return pump. It's better to have more turnover between the tank itself and the filtration system in the sump. So for example, ideally it's 10 times
turnover,
turnover. And of course, if you have this much of turnover, you need to have a skimmer who will also have the same amount of water that it will pass through the skimmer. Because
Right.
if you will have, I don't know, big skimmer, but there's not enough flow from up to down, so there will be not too much to filter. So you have over very, very powerful skimmer, but they will not, the water that will flow, it will be not enough of this water to filter. So it's very good to know about this. But we don't sell these products, but as an Aquaforest, but it's, as we are talking about, how to approach to the tank, that's very important factor. So first, mixed reef. First, which is also very most of the question is which salt I should use. So I'm a fan of having the natural seawater in the tank, and generally like an Aquaforest. But it's also I know that some people will have a bigger grow, maybe for less demanding corals, they can have higher levels of alkalinity. So that's why we have for natural seawater, which I recommend. It's a reef salt. And if you want to have a little bit higher alkalinity, higher parameters like calcium, magnesium, then to more growth of the coral, and then you can use our new Reef Salt Plus.
Right.
Yes, and there's another salt also that is very, very good for it. So it's a probiotic or the new hybrid salt. Probiotic, it's the old model, old version, but it's the hybrid one. It's something that we just
Will have
developed.
the probiotic bacteria in it. That's right.
Yes, it's also they have also the probiotic bacteria. This salt helps you to keep to lower the nutrients in the system and to feed also the coral from this bacteria that will become the bacteria plankton in the tank. And so I know there's a lot of choice, but you need to ask yourself what kind of method that you would like to use, or what kind of goals that you want to achieve. So natural seawater, so alkalinity around 7.3 to till 7.78, so will be right reef salt. If you want to higher, like 9, 10, 11, it happens also. So you use the Reef Salt Plus. So this is and so we recommend when the tank is mature, we recommend to do 10% water change every week. This is the perfect approach. If you have possibility to do it every day, let's say 2% or 3%, 2% of water change, you have some automatic possibility to have automatic water change. That's the ideal situation, because it's still less fluctuation of parameters, like less fluctuation of nutrients mainly, because our system and our way of thinking about make a water change, you make you replenish some trace elements, but mostly you take care of the nutrients in
That's right. It's the dilution method that you'll take whatever you have and dilute it out by the percentage of the water change.
Yes. So this is the salt that we recommend. Some people ask us, if I use this brand, and I would like to change to reef salt. That's a very common question. So honestly, there's no really a method to do it. You just do it, and you can change it from day one and next week you do 10% of water change with other salt. Some people mix them, half and half.
That's what I would do. When I was switching other brands, I did a half and half mixture. I don't know if that was necessary. I didn't notice the difference, but I felt better that the tank was getting used to the change.
Yes, but 10% water change it's not so significant. There's so then you will make okay. That's a right method as well. But usually when I will do that, I will do the just I will switch it just 10%. It will there's a calculation that if you make a 10% water change and let's say in your tank you will have let's say that you have calcium 400 in your tank, and your new salt will have 420 with the same say salinity. So the real change that you will make, it's a 10% of the difference. So here you between 420 and 400 you have 20, and 20, and from this 20 you have 10%. That will be the difference with the water change. So this, so after the water change, we'll have 402, which is really not significant. It's almost undetectable change. So
Exactly.
this slight change also will probably not affect too much your tank. And would like to say that is, I prefer to make 10% water change than the bigger water change. Just do the small impact of change of parameters, especially the nutrients.
Yeah, we just got a couple of questions here on the salt, and Michael was saying that he got 120 kilos of reef salt. Yeah, that'll last you a few weeks there. But the funny thing is, his mixing station is a little garbage can, so I know he can only do a little bit at a time. And
so Michael, is he from States?
No, it's a Viking reefer.
Yes. Okay, and he has 120 kilos. I think a reef salt is available, so he don't need to do it so much.
I'm sure he got it for a good price. But Tolga, your question about a 50-50 mix. So that's the method that I'm using right now. Is I do 50% reef salt and 50% probiotic, and for me that works perfectly to keep my nutrients. The one caveat to that is because it's probiotic salt, you need to use it again within that 24 hours of being mixed to get the full benefit of the probiotic bacteria. The longer it stays in there, the less bacteria that is viable to use in your tank. So you're basically wasting money using it, and if you don't use it within the next day. But once it's clear, so 15-20 minutes, everything is fully mixed, then you're able to do that water change of that 50-50 mix. So I've been using that. I just tried the new hybrid salt. So I'm curious to see, what the results are in the tank, and if I do another combination. But given that it has a probiotic, I think I'm going to just stick with that as one single salt going forward. But we'll see.
But it depends, of course, how much nutrients you have in your tank. If you have very low nutrients and you don't have so much corals, probably there's no need to use the hybrid one. If you have low nutrients and you have corals, that's very beneficial for the corals as well. But if you don't have too much corals, especially at the beginnings when you start the tank and you don't have nutrients, probably there's no much sense to use a hybrid or the probiotic from the start.
Yeah, Tolga, another thing that people have asked me about using that combination is whether they can take off their GFO or other phosphate removing reactors. And in my experience, yes, I was able to take off all the the GFO type material to lower phosphates because of the probiotic salt naturally lowered it for me. So for me, that was an added benefit by using that combination, is that I didn't need to worry about any GFO material pulling out any trace elements or things from the water. So I'm not sure about your system, but if that's something that you are using for nutrient control, that combination might be also a good benefit for you too.
Yes, and so next, so we have a salt, so it's done. So when you start the tank or you have a mature tank, I really strongly recommend to use live biofuel in the system. Mm-hmm. So it's a bacteria. It's a filtration media, biological media. That helps to boost your biology in the tank and helps the filtration. And even if I start many tanks lately, and I mean in the past, the maturation process it's faster than you can imagine. And especially when it's live biofuel, and you use BioS and the life source together. That's a really great combination to boost the tank to start the maturation very fast. And that's the combination that we observe that works very well, and probably we should name it as a kind of system, like maturation system or something.
That's right.
Because this is something that works very, very effectively. And so usually after 2 weeks, when the nitrification cycle is over, so then you can add maybe some shrimps or some snails and things like that, and then gradually add one fish, second fish, and so on and so on. I know people that myself included, but I know it's not so much recommended. But I did that.
Sure.
After 2 weeks, I have corals in my tank, and they are till today. Nothing die, nothing. But I really oversized the reactor with the live biofield.
Sure.
Just much bigger is better in this case. There's no way to overdose it or something like that, because this is the filtration. So more biological filtration media you have, it's better. We have some recommendation, but I use in the tank where we have let's say 80 gallons. I use 8 liters of this media, 7 liters of this media, and maturation was very fast. So I really I didn't see any ugly face, but it's, I don't guarantee that will be in your case, but this is that I observe many times with the customers and myself included. So this we have of course, I also recommend to use carbon all the time. So from the start, when you use the tank, especially in the mixed reef where you have SPS tank, when you have LPS tank,
You have all the toxins in the water. Yep.
I have many toxins. They fight, between each other. They use, they produce some chemicals and biological weapons, to have some space for themselves.
Yeah,
So,
it's funny, you mentioned that, and I've been using the Aquaforest Carbon for a little while, and I thought it was really good, but over the weekend it was a holiday here in the U.S., and we went on a little road trip to San Diego, and I came back and my house stunk. Looked at the tank, and my dad's Gargonia kicked the bucket. It was perfectly fine in the morning. Came home, it dead, melted away, and the whole house terrible. And I was like, oh, I started getting water ready to do a water change. And I said, you know what, before I do a water change, let me replace some of the carbon and put in a reactor. So I filled up one of the AF110 reactors. I think it's 2 liters or so of media with carbon. And within a few hours, completely cleared the water from being milky to clear. I was impressed just how high quality that the carbon was to be able to pull out that mess.
Yeah, our carbon, we have it on the market for 10 years, and we didn't change it. And it's a very special carbon because it's a steamed activate carbon, which is unusual in our industry, because most of the active carbon and chemical activated, and they have some impurities in the process, the phosphate especially, or not other unwanted things. And it's steam activated, so there's no any contamination that is entered the water. But in the same time, our carbon, if you compare our carbon, how much it weighs on the volume, it's very light. So it's super light, and because it's very porous, and they have a lot of micro pores inside to absorb more and more chemicals and organic substances as well. So this carbon, it's a must for every tank. From my perspective, at least, I use it, and I use also carbon on the media, on the special media reactor. And now we have it officially. We have a CO2 scrubber.
That's right.
And where usually we use the special media to absorb CO2 and raise the pH in the tank. But I divided. There's a special sponge, a special let's say. I don't know, divide, how to say it.
There's a separator in there, an acrylic separator.
Exactly. Yep. And I use a carbon, because this carbon also clean the air from the pollutant.
Right.
And it's proven.
So it can be used wet or dry.
And so I also use this carbon to filter air before it will enter in the skimmer. In the same time, will be mixed with the water. And because elements also mix with the water, especially in skimmer, and they can just enter in the water through this way. So this is the carbon side. Also, even from the start, if you especially going to start, it's a good habit to use phosphate minus. It's absorber for phosphate and also for silicates and some also heavy metals. There's like a 6 or 8 heavy metals that is absorbed, like arsenium and many of them. But generally, especially at the beginning, and usually we have some problems with the
silicates in the, that's right,
in the tank. So the phosphate minus absorb this heavy metals, but it's also absorb phosphate, and it's also absorb silicates. So this is a good habit to use it even from the start, because sometimes in the beginning you have some phosphate in the water.
Sure.
So this is the most important, not important, but so this is the kind of biological and chemical filtration, but we have still the supplementation, the chemical supplementation, to keep the level of chemicals on elements, trace and macro elements on the right level. So we have two choices. We have something that it's we name it component 1, 2, 3 plus, and we have a component pro, and these products will take care of all chemical that you will need in your tank. So all trace and macro elements that your tank will need it. If you start from the level that it's stable level, and the level it's the right level, if I can say, so recommended level that all these trace and macro elements will be, if you will dose it, this component 1 to 3 or pro, on the right dosage, based on the consumption of cage, usually that's how we adjust it. It should keeps you this level on the stable range.
That's right.
So this is really cool product, because you plug it in the dosing pump. Of course, you need to test your cage and find the best dosage that your tank need, and it will change. That will not stay forever. That's also important, because your coral will grow. There will be a different
consumption will go up.
Up, down sometimes, because you will have your pH will drop, because there will be, I don't know, not fresh air in your area, or you will not use there will be not enough flow. Maybe you will not have too much CO2 in your area, and this is a permanent challenge to test. But some tanks are stable, conditions are stable, and you find out that you need to do it once a week, and everything should be fine.
I think that brings up a great point. Is we've got into the habit of set and forget. We'll put up our dosing pumps. You have our automatic testers of whatever, but we have to remember to manually test as well. And I know Aquaforest has a new test kit bundle on the market, and the importance of going back and checking your parameters to see how are they changing week to week, or change of season. We often will see the tank changing in spring or in autumn, and it's just important as you're adding coral volume or new fish, go back and check and just make sure that what your goal was, your target, whatever parameter, is still in that range, or you may need to go back and make some adjustments.
Sure. That's so use our tests. There are ICP verified. They are very accurate and very easy to use. You will find the reference solution on it to just compare your results. So you can use our test kits to know the levels of your trace elements or cage, to adjust the dosing of the chemicals. So generally we recommend to dose the equal amount of every three parts of this product. And if something is not in range, especially at the beginning of dosing, so dose it anyway at the same level, and the element that is consumed the most, add it. Let's say it will be cage. Let's imagine that will drop you. So you have the same level of all three, but the cage, to rise only cage, use the cage plus, for example, from our lap line or something like that, or you can use the cage buffer that we also have in dry form,
right, with the new available sizes there too.
Yes. So and one day it will be balanced. You will see it will be maybe in 1 week, 3 weeks, 1 week, a month, but finally you will see that you will need only the three elements. And so this is one of the best selling product that we have, and it's very convenient because it's super easy to use, that keeps you the chemical balance in your tank automatically almost. So it's better to even use it with the dosing pump, because that will guarantee you to dose it, let's say 24 hours by day, and let's say 24 doses. More doses is better, because that will
The microdosing, that's right. And something that kind of hasn't been talked about a lot recently is the ionic balance, right? Which is what you're getting at there with equal parts, and there's a ratio for that consumption pattern, and it's kind of gone out of vogue in the last year or two as people have been so fixated about pH. But that is one of the critical things when starting a tank, is maintaining in that ionic balance. And there's that, again, that ratio between alkalinity and calcium and magnesium, that once you've reached it, you'll notice that your corals will start to take off, because they're getting the right available nutrients for their own growth.
Yes, that's the key. The stability is always the key. It's not necessarily the level of elements. Your tank could thrive, let's say, in alkalinity probably 8 and calcium 460, let's imagine, and magnesium 1400 or 500. They will thrive.
Those are my parameters right there.
Really, I don't have so much. I always keep it a little bit lower, and it's adjusted this way. I make every week 10% of water change, and I keep my, let's say, levels 35 ppt. It's alkalinity. It's salinity, and usually I have 7.5 delay, sometimes 8. Probably it's moved, but it's not too much.
Sure.
And my calcium is 420, and magnesium 1380, maybe 340, something like that. And this is how I have it, because I track on the ICB the levels for I don't know, like
many years.
8 years, maybe more. So I see it's very stable. And I use component 1 to 3 from the beginning. Now I change it to component Pro, because it's also it's double concentrated, and it's also have another good function. It stabilizes and rise your pH.
Right.
So this is really a cool product, and I believe it's even better than component 1 to 3. And yes, but better this way. The concentration is double, the elements are the same, but double concentrated. But this rise and stabilize the pH, it's a very important factor as well, that makes maybe you decide for this product. And so after that, you have all supplementation for your tank. So we can supplement fish. So we have whole line of food for fish,
right?
Liquid food. We have a soft pellet food, which is very, very well eaten by all finicky fish.
Yeah, I know a buddy of mine just got some Anthias, not you, Michael, another friend. And I was telling him, he said only one of his fish, the male, were eating the Anthias food, was eating pellets. So I sent him some of the Aquaforest Anthias food, and he got it yesterday. And he said that the moment that it touched the water, all of the Anthias ran up and ate it. And it was the first time that he saw all of his Anthias, eating a pellet. So he was pretty happy with that, and amazed, that the food designed for them just did the trick, and that after not eating anything.
I was also quite surprised, because I have in my tank, I have Anthias ventralis, which is known for being finicky fish, and he loved the Anthias food as well, the soft pellet. He just become crazy to find it.
Yeah.
Even make a video last time. And he also liked the let's say the other it's a marine mix one, but not too much, because I observe how he's reacting. For the marine, it's going, but without any craziness.
Yeah.
And and today I use the small pellets, the protein power, and it's smaller. And he was not interesting. Other fish eat it.
We're eating it, yeah.
Yeah, they love it. But there's one no. But the Anthias food, yes, and it's become crazy for it. We use some special oils to and to the fish. It's a kind of attractor as well. But this oil there's a fatty acid on this oil, and there's very, very good beneficial substances. But generally, it's very, very attractive for them, and we can see that. And even we send some products in the bulk size for the importer of fish. And
Mm.
they said the fish after importation, just they start eating our fish food immediately, which he was surprised because he do that for 20 years, and he said the first
Wow.
food that I had like this. But this is thanks to our attractor
Sure.
and the composition as well.
And I remember in the past there used to be like a food container that had a few different options. There was like 4 different foods in one container. Is that still available, or are they now each individual?
Individual, yeah, no, but there were some packaging, the dual pack it's called.
Okay.
So we send it on the price of 2. We sell sorry, in the price of 1 you will get 2
Mm.
different ones, like a veggie, for example, and let's say Antia's food. So there's a mixed combination of them, just to, as we are, the food on the market, there's a huge competition.
Sure.
So
Of
we need
course.
to, first we need to make try your fish our food,
Hmm.
and when you will try it, probably you will never buy anything else. But first we need to try, so we need to convince you as a reefer to buy it on the special discounted price. So
Yeah.
you buy one and you get to on some stores that have it.
And
And
just
so we
just
have
curious.
that.
Sorry. Just curious. Anyone in the group who's watching, have you guys tried the Aquaforest foods? And if so, let us know what your thoughts and comments are. How your fish liked it or didn't like it, and just curious to those watching right now what your input would be.
Yes. I didn't saw any fish that didn't eat it. Maybe he was sick or something like that. But usually, if the fish are normal, they will eat it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But even I have we have I showed you we have a diacanthus from the Red Sea,
Hmm.
and it's more colored. And at the beginning he didn't eat when we imported. He did like a 2 3 days, but was stressed by some imperator who chasing him. Maybe it was that. But today I was in the tank and I just give some. I remember them marine mix, I think, and he just come after and eat it very well. And but you have it this fish, so the acanthus. So I believe I don't know if he had dry foods yours or he was more frozen.
Yeah, it dry as well.
Yeah. So, but anyway, at the beginning, but it was just imported fish. So that's why I saw that he didn't eat. But after 3 days, I saw it 4 days and he did very well. So we have a fish V. So it's a vitamin filled fish as well to make them happy and thrive. Also because the vitamins you can use for the food. It doesn't matter. It will be dry. It will be frozen food or it will be dry food. That's as our or soft palate. You
Hmm.
can take some drops, few drops to the food. It will sink, and then feed your fish. Because we had that question, or fish V, we can add it to the tank. Usually fish absorb all vitamins by eating, not by their skin. So it's better to give them internally that, so also we have a garlic oil, which is
Hmm.
a pure extract of organic garlic, which is known that boosts the immune system, for if you, especially if you have itch or any other diseases. It's good to also make it suck to the
That's
any
right.
food, maybe to even to nori algae, nori algae.
The nori. Yep, soak it in there.
Yeah, so you just soak it, you add it, and they will eat it, and it's very beneficial for the fish. And you have a line of fish foods. We have not fish foods, sorry, the coral foods. So we have dedicated food for zoanthus and ricordea and mushrooms, all
Hmm.
mushrooms. So it's called zeo food. Before it was rico, but rico it's more a little bit modified food, but it's more or less the same product. But generally, it's for zoanthus, and they have some special vitamins, and we observe a very good grow rate of zoanthus and mushroom and all Ricordea family, which is so we have also our famous the set. So we have IF
Hmm.
amino mix, we have IF vitality, we have IF
Energy.
energy and build.
Yep.
This is the fourth supplements that probably most of the reefer try it already, and I use it for so many years. The all combination of this amino acids, vitamins, very very nutritious food with fatty acids and some carbon. It's a build. It's something that will not grow, but it will accelerate the calcification of corals, absorption of calcium, and the side effect if you overdose this, because it's very difficult to overdose it. You can dose it any almost it's not possible to overdose it, but if you have some problems on the rock, some algae, some things like that, some reported that it's good for cyanobacteria if you overdose, and that helps also to it's a kind of side effect, but it's also very good for this. So we have also like a new product that is pilot elixir, which is combination of vitality and amino mix, and this is I don't recommend to do it simultaneously, like you
simultaneously,
dose it simultaneously, because you overdose one of them. You can use a little bit of this and a little bit of this, or maybe you can use it when you are at home with dosing pump, and after you're at home, you can just dose it with drops.
But I'll tell you, after using the power elixir, it's so much more convenient. You just set and forget, like we talked before. And I noticed that I went from just very little bit, and I've been able to increase the amount some over the last couple months. And I really noticed that the overall health and vitality of the corals is really there, and they really enjoy it. And now, so previously I was dosing it after the lights went out, and it would go basically from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Now I have it dosing throughout the day at a smaller increment, and I find that I can see whenever it's being dosed, because the polyp extension is that much bigger and broader. So the corals have gotten used to it being more available in the water for them.
Yeah, it's better because it's with dosing pumps it's better because you dose it in the smaller amount, but they're available all the time.
That's
not
right.
In the big amount. Usually the big amount could be not absorbed well by corals, and this way there's less but more frequently, it's even better.
Right, and I know it goes without saying, but anytime you're starting a new product or adding something to your line, always underdose it first. Observe how the tank is doing and slowly build up. Whether you start at a third dose or a half dose, it's always best practice to start lower and add up to it, so you don't get any either crazy algae outbreak or something in your tank. Because anytime you add anything, you're potentially disrupting the equilibrium of your tank. So go a little low and slow is always advisable.
All right, so we passed through this mixed reef formula, and probably the next time we will talk about more advanced reefer, the SPS only tank formula, which is more demanding and more let's say for more you need to really take a little bit more of attention for this kind of tanks.
That's right, and we'll probably talk about the lab line as part of that as well, for people to see what the options are if you want to become more engaged in using, based on your ICP results, very specific chemicals to adjust your parameters in there. So we'll include that as part of the SPS one as well. But for today, thank you guys all for joining and sharing your comments. Glad to hear so much positive feedback about the food. Definitely, we'll be checking out some of the stuff that you guys had posted. And Sever, thank you for taking the time this evening. I know it's starting to get late for you. Until next time, reefers.
Yes, thank you so much. And maybe I will just say one word, because we know in the past we have some several questions and many questions and just requests to that Aquaforest product should be more available especially in United States.
Yep.
So now we started to work with a company named Aperture, which is exclusive distributor from Ecotech, from Neptune, and so many other brands. And I believe that now you will find Aquaforest almost everywhere soon. But online you will find it. All the line are available, and we'll make it available all the time.
Fantastic. Yes. So folks in the US, availability and your desire for the products has been answered. We heard you, and you will now be able to find the products at your local
Live Source is
LFS.
available. Power Elixir is available. Components Pro are available. Generally, all kinds of salt are available. Maybe not the newest one, the Reef Plus and the hybrid one, but they will be soon available.
That's right.
Yeah, because they are on the way. So it takes time, to stage. But generally, all products that we receive so many questions where it will be available. Everything is there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Till next time, reefers. Happy reefing.
Happy reefing.